my daughter's wedding, her fiance pulled out my chair as I was sitting down. "Your place is on the floor," he sneered. Guests laughed until the groom's father looked at me and said, "Sir, is that you?" And the room went silent. I've always been the simple man in Tara's life. After her mother Erica died when Tara was just 12, I raised her alone, working double shifts at the garage, oil caked under my fingernails, sweat soaking my back. Every paycheck went to keeping her world steady while mine fell apart. Piano lessons, school clothes, college tuition paid in overtime hours and weekend shifts. Jasper was everything I wasn't. Wall Street portfolio manager, tailored suits, manicured hands that had never held a wrench or known honest work. When he proposed to my daughter after 6 months of dating, I bit my tongue and forced a smile. She was happy, and that's what mattered to me. But the dinner changed everything. He'd invited us to some fancy Manhattan restaurant with golden forks and crystal glasses that cost more than my monthly mortgage. The waiter treated us like royalty until he saw my calloused hands. When the check came, Jasper slid it across to me with a calculated smirk. "Tradition. The bride's father pays," he said with clear satisfaction. $347. More than a week's groceries. I paid it with trembling hands, watching him lean back like he'd won some twisted game. My credit card barely cleared. "Your daughter appreciates seeing how well her two favorite men get along," he said, knowing damn well what he'd done. Testing me, breaking me down piece by piece in front of my own child. The wedding day arrived. I wore my navy suit, the same one from her graduation, pressed carefully that morning in my small Brooklyn apartment. At the reception, I stood to move my chair when Jasper yanked it away. My body hit the polished marble floor with a crack that silenced the music. "Oops," he said loudly. "Looks like someone's unsteady." Age catches us all eventually. Laughter rippled through the crowd of his wealthy friends. "Maybe you're more comfortable closer to the ground. That's where you belong." I stayed down longer than I needed to. Let them all see what humiliation looked like. When I finally rose, Tara was beside me, tears in her eyes, looking at her new husband like she was seeing a complete stranger. But before I could speak, the sound of heavy boots echoed through the hall. Not polished dress shoes, but worn combat boots, crossing the marble with military precision. The groom's father, late to the ceremony, stopped dead when his eyes found mine. His expensive suit couldn't hide the soldier's posture. His face went white as recognition hit. "Sir, is that you?" Iraq, 2003. Night patrol turned nightmare. Ambush in the dark. This man bleeding out, trapped under heavy enemy fire, while I dragged his broken body 300 yards through the sand to the evacuation point. His voice in my ear, promising he'd never forget the mechanic who saved his life. "Sergeant Reyes," he breathed, the name falling heavy in the silence. The room went dead quiet. Heads turned from him to me, then to Jasper, whose smugness evaporated into horror. "Ladies and gentlemen," Jasper's father said, his voice carrying across the entire hall, "this man saved my life in Iraq, risked everything to carry me out when everyone thought I was lost. Without him, there would be no family, no wedding, nothing." In that moment, the room no longer saw a mechanic. They saw a man who had given everything. The whispers that followed weren't cruel anymore. They were reverent. Jasper staggered back, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. His father's eyes burned with shame and rage. "You humiliated this man? The very man who gave me my life? Do you understand what you've done to our family's honor?" "I didn't know," Jasper stammered. "I didn't realize." "You didn't care to realize." His father cut him off. I finally spoke, my voice calm and steady. "Respect isn't given by money. It's earned." Tara stepped forward, tears streaming. "Love doesn't look like what you did, Jasper. Love doesn't tear down. It builds." She took off her ring slowly, placed it on the table. The diamond that had sparkled like a promise now looked like broken glass. "I choose dignity," she said, taking my hand. "I choose truth." The applause began quietly, then swelled as guests rose to their feet, not for the wedding, but for the truth revealed. We left together, father and daughter, while Jasper stood frozen in his shattered world of arrogance. Outside, the night air was cool. Tara squeezed my hand. "Dad, you kept your promise to Mom." I looked up at the stars, barely visible beyond the city lights. "So did